Listen, as a creative, it's so easy to have horror stories about launching and having marketing campaigns. And it doesn't matter whether we coach or we're service providers, like, it doesn't matter. It's just sometimes too much. Launching sounds fun. The idea of having recurrent revenue sounds exciting, but then we get to it and it's a nightmare. It's overwhelming and we don't want to do it again. We think it's not for us. But good news, there are things we can work on, and there are specifically 3 mistakes creative entrepreneurs make during a launch. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix them. So let's go. Welcome to Creator to Leader. Are you struggling to connect with your ideal customers online? Are you confused about the most effective way to market your business? If you're ready to become the go-to expert in your industry and stand out from the crowd, this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Eugenia. That's Eugenia in Spanish, but you can call me E. My mission is to help entrepreneurs stand out online so that they can grow their businesses. I do this through comprehensive marketing strategies, impactful content plans, and storytelling leadership. We both know you're running on caffeine and big dreams, so let's dive right in. Hey, before we get started today, I want to tell you about Launch Your Own Way. If you are wanting to make more sales, make them more predictable, without having to follow a lot of these like marketing bro playbooks, I cannot recommend this program enough. It is from Kelsey from Coming Up Roses. She's my mentor for all things launching. She's the person I've learned the most about launch foundations. She's really just shaped the way I look at launching. Launch Your Own Way Live. It's a program. It's a comprehensive course. It is a membership community. It is designed to help guide creative service providers through the process of launching, which is really just building creative marketing campaigns, which, I'm all for. And I'm talking any service. It doesn't have to be a new service. Any type of service, any program can be taken through Launch Your Own Way, and you get Kelsey's feedback. It is invaluable if you really want to understand all the strategy behind launching. I'm super excited because this community is about to get started. So please head on to cominguproses.co/Eugenia or Eugenia or Eugenia. I mean, my name's pronounced many different ways, but that's EUGENIA. So cominguproses.co/EUGENIA, and you'll be able to get started. You won't regret it. You won't market the same after Launch Your Way. Trust me about that. Okay, we're gonna get to the point because I'm fired up today. I usually like to start with some, storytelling, connect with you. Sometimes you just look at your industry and you just look at people thinking that the problem is them, and you're like, no, like literally there's nothing wrong with you. There's just mistakes that you're making that are thinking or that are making you think that you're the problem. Not like, oh, launching is not for me. This is not the case. So that's why we need to create this episode. We need to have this conversation, and we need to fix these little mistakes along the way. First mistake I've noticed is going too hard too soon. And we see other people launching, and by the time we see these people launching, they've done a couple of launches. Like they have they're not in their first rodeo when someone is like doing these big launches and they have like a Facebook group and they send 1,000 emails and they have teams. Like this is experience. The thing is that you are probably comparing yourself to those standards and you think that's what a launch looks like. And probably you've tried to do something similar, but then you're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. This is exhausting. Like, I hate it. I don't want to do it again. And it's because marketing in general, it's a sport. You need to build your reps. You need to build your resistance. Like, you cannot go to the gym for the first time and do like crazy, like 20-pound like dumbbell exercises for like bicep workout, like for the first time. It's gonna be, you're gonna get injured. You're not gonna wanna go again to the gym. So you need to start slow. So if you haven't launched, maybe you need to start slow. If you have launched and you hated the process, it was too hard for you, maybe you need to tone it down. I'm all for strategies, but so you can listen to someone else's strategy or playbook or framework, but ultimately you need to adapt it to where you are in this season of life, in this season of business. The second mistake is following robotic tactics. Because again, this all comes from comparison. So probably we need to do a whole episode on comparison. But you probably saw someone else's launch and you thought, this is how I need to do it. But their strategy didn't necessarily work for you. I have an episode on managing your energy in marketing as an introvert, so I highly, highly recommend that because you need to have that self-awareness. And I do have a couple of episodes about creating that self-awareness about yourself, because that is my goal, to start helping you identify where you are in the mix. How community driven do you want to be doing your launch? Do you want to be having like one-on-one conversations on a community? Do you want to just write a lot? Do you want to create a lot of videos? Like, where are you? And that's going to determine the process and the strategy and the framework that you follow. It has to be adapted to you, to your strengths. And again, this is coming again similar to point number one, going too hard too soon. If you are just following a template and you're not asking yourself these questions, you're not reflecting, then obviously you're going to get burnout, because there are things that are just not compatible with who we are. So we can either get help to find someone to help us do these things, or we can just modify these things and not do them for a little while. And I promise you can still have a successful launch without following these frameworks to a T. The cure for this is to learning to do it your own way, which is why this episode I am really talking to you about Launch Your Own Way Live, because it is such an important way to start looking at launching. A launch is simply a marketing campaign. You are making a specific offer during a specific time period. The goal of the launch is to make it visible and to make it irresistible. Like, that's it. When you look at it that way, and we could look at so many examples, it loses a little bit of that mysterious supremacy, or like launch is this big bad monster. That's what it is. It is a marketing campaign. It has a specific tactic for a specific time period, and we want to make our offer irresistible and make it visible. And from there, we go and we create our strategies. There are so many ways to launch successfully. Launch doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be complex. Of course, I said it's a sport. So the more you do it, the more complexity you're going to start adding, just because it's fun. Like, you're just going to start to gamify it and try to get creative. And what if I add this? And what if I add that? Like, it is entertaining with time when you start just getting your confidence and your reps in. There's nothing wrong with buying a course, a program, and someone, like having someone's framework to launch. I think that can be super helpful. And there is one particularly that I have my eye on for next year, from a person that I admire and I've followed for years. But it's not because I think that without that program, I won't be able to launch, or I'm going to be a failure. None of these things. It's because I'm like, ooh, I want to learn more. I want to learn from her expertise. This is the idea of, if you are a makeup artist, you want to go train with Makeup by Mario, right? Like, oh, I want to learn from this person, and I'm going to travel and learn from this person. And then next year, I'm going to go learn from this other person. And you collect all these things in your toolbox, but it's from a place of, I want to be better. I want to get more tools. It's not coming from a place of, oh, I'm terrible at makeup. I don't know what to do. No, it's like, I want to get better. So that's how I see all these strategies and frameworks. Again, I love them. I'm a learner. I love learning and just adding more tools into my toolbox. But I'm not going to let those frameworks define or box me into this is the only way to do it. And then the third mistake is, gosh, this is the most painful. I almost didn't put it in. And that is not engaging your audience. This mistake is giving cringy MLM friend. Like, you know the one. I'm not talking about the ethical social seller. I have my friend who sells oils and I love her. She's amazing. Like, I'm the one who goes to her. I want to buy from her. No. I'm talking about that friend that you haven't spoken with in 5 years. And suddenly she reaches out to you with an amazing quote unquote opportunity to own your own business and be a millionaire from your phone. Like, it just gives you the ick. It's such a way to lose trust and, like, I don't know, like, I'm not going to hear what you have to say if we haven't built a relationship first. The cure for this is being really intentional in the pre-launch process. This is a process to build relationships, to create connections, have conversations, get to know your audience. Like, I'm very pro marketing terminology, but I don't want you to be just thinking, lead gen, I want to get more leads. Like, build relationships. That's what the pre-launch process or the pre-launch section of your launch is for. And that's the best way to really engage your audience before you present them with the offer, with the opportunity. This is also a great opportunity to share organically about what you're doing, what you are building. Saying, hey, I'm doing this. I'm like super excited. I don't have nothing to sell you right now. Like, you cannot sign up as of right now, or maybe there's a wait list, but like, you cannot purchase at this moment, but I want to tell you what I'm building. And that's such a fun way to build that relationship. Or tell them like, hey, I'm planning my modules for my course. Like, what are problems you're having around this area? Maybe I can do some coaching for you in the DMs. I don't know, whatever your capacity permits. So that's, a personal decision. But allow yourself to build relationships before you make the offer. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be a weirdo. Don't be a cringy MLM friend, please. So there you have it. These are the 3 mistakes creative entrepreneurs make. You're probably making them, maybe one, maybe all 3, during your launch, and they are super quick to fix. Number 1, going too hard too soon. Number 2, following robotic tactics. And number 3, not engaging your audience. And if you're new to launching and you want hands-on support for 6 months, my launch mentor, Kelsey from Coming Up Roses, is opening the doors to her signature course and membership, Launch Your Own Way. It is about to change the way you market your business. I cannot stress this enough. Head on to cominguproses.co/EUGENIA. That's my name. Coming Up Roses.co/Eugenia to join the waitlist and receive amazing behind the scene bonuses. Like, you have no idea. So go there, check it out. You're not going to regret it. I hope you loved this episode. If you connected with the podcast in some way, please rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That is the number 1 way you can support the show. And because sharing is caring, share it with a fellow entrepreneur wanting to become a leader, not just a creator. I am so grateful for you. I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM over to @eugenia.woo. That's @EUGENIA.WOO. And if you only send me a microphone emoji, I will know that you stayed till the end. Thank you for listening. See you soon.